Hi, this is Declan Shalvey, former artist of Moon Knight, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, loony listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 201. And you are with your High Priest of KHONSHU, Ray. Hello, welcome all. And tonight, or to start the week, as usual, we have an idle chat. And tonight we'll be looking at MacKay's Moon Knight. So that's going to be a discussion on the latest news that reveals some more details on the upcoming series that will be released in July. Joining me, as always, I have a co-host who usually brings more information, more entertainment. But anyway, a valued guest co-host, valued Looney. You may have heard him last week in the grand 200th episode. He's the winner of the inaugural ITK game show, Face or No Face, the power of Chad. Chad, welcome back.
Hello, how's it going, Ray?
Yeah, good. Chad, how you feeling? How does it feel to have come off as the winner of an 8-horse race?
I'm not used to having an ego, so getting adjusted to that.
Yeah. Well, you're like strutting down the street, going, "Hey, look, I won this thing." I actually, I heard from
the biggest fucking nerd.
I heard from a certain winner. You were on their behalf, Connor, saying that you sent him a message a bit earlier.
Perhaps. I mean, I had a few drinks.
Yes, it was possibly a bit hazy, but that was funny. I was keeping close tabs on Connor. So for those that don't know, Connor was represented by Chad in the game show, and Chad went on to take out the prize. So Connor gets himself a copy of the Marvel monograph, The Art of Declan Shalvey. Anyway, I was keeping tabs with Connor because I was saying, "Connor, have you listened to the episode yet?" And he's going, "Oh, no, not yet. I've listened to like a quarter of it. It's pretty funny." He was laughing at the canned laughter, but I didn't want to give anything away, but I just kept on asking, just let me know when you kind of. But I felt really bad because it was kind of like maybe I was thinking he was thinking that I was pushing him just to listen to the episode, but I kind of wanted him to find out that he won, But he later said to me, I got this text from Chad earlier on. So I kind of figured something was going on. But no, well done, Chad.
I didn't reveal it.
No,
I was very
didn't.
cryptic about it.
Can you remember what you said or texted?
I believe it was something along the lines of, you're welcome. I didn't say exactly what for.
Okay.
And just to the surmise of, well, whatever I did while I was very intoxicated. Still am, but congratulations.
Excellent. Well, yep. A few tidbits there. I think kind of put a couple of them together. But anyway, he was over the moon, no pun intended. Actually, I wanted to say that in the white noise, all the prizes have been sent. So those lucky winners of the pins, I got in contact with Destructo Disc Designs and Media Patrol. They're on the way, and ordered that Art of Declan Shalvey for Connor from my favourite, my LCS Kings, the greatest comic book store in the universe. Before that, Chad, I forgot. So a huge thank you to our sponsors, our gracious patronies, of course. So the likes of Daniel, who was on the show, Justin, Derek, Wayne, Jordan, Josh, who was also on the show, James, Russell, and Anthony. A big thank you to you guys, the co-producers and executive producers of the show. Just great support, so thank you very much. Also, Fringe Knight by Daniel Doing, an original indie comic based on Erie, Pennsylvania's very own mysterious superhero. Hello Headphones, empowering gamers to play at their best, and Dreamland Comics, the superhero superstore. So anyway, yeah, Chad. So I don't know. What do you reckon? Do you reckon? There's potential to do another game show? Would you be up for it?
I mean, I would be up for it. Would Phil be up for it?
I think Phil would be. I think Phil would be up for it as well. I think he was smarting a little that he came in second behind you, Chad. So you've got bragging rights for sure.
Well, I feel bad for anyone that comes in behind me. I mean,
well, you know, you were ended up on top there, so that was pretty cool. If anything, lessons learned. I think maybe I'll rein in the questions a little bit more. I thought a couple of them were probably a bit too hard, but I mean, of course, you did very well on them, and time-wise as well. So I know now how many questions I should do for maybe an hour. I think an hour is a good length of a game show, Chad. I don't know what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, an hour's I just remember Rebecca sighing or going, okay, after I was middle of round one. There was a long way to go. But anyway, so I don't know, maybe another milestone episode, or who knows. I'd love to try and put together another game show. I thought it was really fun. Of course, just logistically, it was a little it is a little hard, but actually, having said that, the eight, you guys pretty much responded very well, so it wasn't that difficult in that sense. Anyway, Loonies, moving on, we're going to hit white noise. As I said, the prizes for episode 200 have been sent out, so if you are indeed the winners, I'm assuming, just offhand, I think Justin the Owl, Osgood, and Bobby Lowndes got those pins. Just keep an eye on your letterbox for something to be dropped in. Also, as well, I just want to make mention this Serial Season 2, The Rise of Set, is well underway. Now, Chad, I know that you or your character, I don't know what actors prefer, but you're off in space in the serial, so we will touch base with you a bit later there, but I'm really excited. A couple of episodes I've got some scripts for. It'd be good to get back in it. How about yourself, Chad? Are you raring those vocals again?
I mean, as well as black coffee and the drink can actually treat a voice, yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, having said that as well, I mean, further down the track, next episode, Loonies, will get to that anyway. But Chad, you have lent your vocals yet again for a nice little rendition of something, but we'll get to that later. Also, finally on White Noise as well, I just want to give a shout out to Looney Rafael Santos. So, Chad, Rafael was actually represented by Phil in the game show, so he got his name in there, which was pretty cool.
My apologies, Rafael.
Yes, I mean, Rafael, you could easily have been under the wing of Chad, but randomly assigned. So maybe next time, we don't know. But anyway, Rafael is an artist in his own right, a damn good one too, and he has been sending me some messages, really cool stuff, some preview art. He's got this project he's going to kickstart on Monday, so by the time you hear this, it would have already started on his Instagram account, and it's called Night Phases with a K. And what he plans on doing each week, he'll release an artwork of Moon Knight's costume throughout the decades, so from 1975 to the present day. And this is pretty cool, Chad. I mean, of course, you're well versed with all the different iterations of Moon Knight's costumes. This is something that you'll be checking in on?
I mean, as long as I can remember to do it, I'd love to.
Well, I will be sure to remind everyone. It's a great little project as well. So this week, of course, obviously he'll start in 1975. So that will be the Don Perlin design with the capes attached to the wrist, that sort of thing, Chad.
Now the question is it going to be the Spanish version that's black and red?
Oh, is there a Spanish version?
Yeah, there's a Spanish release, and it was completely changed up.
Wow. Wow.
You haven't heard about this?
No, I haven't actually, and I think Raphael should know about this too because he can add this to his list. Right. Okay, so it's essentially the costume, but it's black and red?
Yeah.
Wow. What was the... Oh, okay, so the black bit is I'm assuming, the face, and the red bit is everything else?
I'm trying to remember what exactly it was. I'll bring it up in just a minute.
Could be pretty funky. While Chad is doing that, I'm just going to vamp a bit here. I get visions of also Arachnite, the red mask. That would be pretty cool. Actually, red and a black hood would be good. Sorry, Chad.
So he had spiked bracers, or maybe those are the cestus.
Okay.
But they're like straight on attached to the hands. They're not just like ambulatory off on their own.
Right.
Has a white mask, a red hood, and red cape. And all the like central body is all blackened out except for a moon.
Wow, they really took liberties, didn't they? Marvel España. Dare I say, I mean, they're red and yellow, their flag. I was about to say, were they trying to really introduce a bit of their own patriotism in there? But wow, I never heard of this, Chad. How did you bump into this?
I mean, that was like years ago.
Yeah.
You just kind of like find stuff.
Just searching for
It's the internet, man.
Yeah. So you're just like searching for and just random. Okay, I've got to check it out. I
just sent it over to you.
So. Oh, okay. Let me have a look. And Loonies, we will. I'll post this up, or I'll add this actually to. Wow. I'll add this to potentially, if I can somehow. I can add it to the podcast, like the show notes. Wow, it's just werewolf. It's a funky design, Chad.
Right.
That's pretty damn good. I mean, Werewolf by Night is pretty much the same. If you change his pants from green to purple, that's the only real difference. He's smattered with what seems to be prison darts.
Right.
But yeah, but the moon
pincushion.
Yeah, exactly. Far out. It's like a bloody porcupine. But the Moon Knight, actually, taking nothing away from the classic costume, it's pretty nice, actually, having a bit of colour on there. Yeah. Well, anyway, Loonies, Chad has brought something huge to the table. This is great. So I will add this to the show notes somehow, and you can have a look on it. Anyway, especially you, Raphael, because, and for those, again, just going back to that, his Instagram, Raphael, how am I going to do this? RAPHLSNTS. That's his account, Raphael Santos, or Raphael Santos. Take out the vowels, except for the A. Pretty cool. Cool. Right. Well, I mean, that's pretty much just the news, just to catch up on. What we have a bit later on, of course, is just some more feedback. So thank you very much. A lot of loonies sent in some feedback for the 200th episode. But before that, Chad, the main course, so to speak, for this episode is MacKay's Moon Knight. Now, I don't know, had you had a chance to read this article from comicbook.com?
I skimmed over it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like 6 or 7, but never like actually sitting down through it.
Okay, I mean, yeah, so you grabbed the gist of it. Anyway, Loonies, this article was released not that long ago. I think it was shortly after we released our episode 200. So we did talk about the Jed MacKay, Alessandro Cappuccio, announcement on our episode 200, and there was some information there. Chad, you and I and everyone else talked about the likes of, say, the Midnight Mission that was kind of released in the first, inklings of the details. But this other article from comicbook.com, and again, just check the show notes, has a little bit more. They actually talked to Jed MacKay about, of course, he's a little coy with information, doesn't want to give away too much. But we got some fairly juicy bits here, Chad. So what I wanted to do was to go through some of these main points. So again, apologies, some of it may be slightly repeated from our last discussion, but I'm just kind of leading into these other points. So, Chad, so to kick off, I guess this series is based is like the aftermath for the Age of Khonshu. Now, this is an interesting idea because, I mean, let's face it, what were your views of Age of Khonshu with Jason Aaron?
I just want to apologize to everyone for saying I would love for Jason Aaron to helm this. So that really bit me in the ass. I am not apologizing for saying I love his Thor run.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, he's a good writer. Good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. But so again, Loonies, you may be aware, some of you who are newer may not be. Age of Khonshu was part of the Avengers title, 30-something to, I can't remember, 32 or 34 to 30. I can't remember. Was it a 4-parter? I think it was a 4-parter.
I think it was 5 in total because of like the one aftermath bit.
Oh, okay. I didn't really do my research. I should have done that. Anyway, what happened? These big events, right? So the big takeaway from that, after of course Moon Knight trying to stealing all these powers, and there's a whole heap of stuff. We won't get into it, but the aftermath was basically Khonshu gets incarcerated on Asgard. He gets taken away because he got a bit cray-cray there. So this is interesting that this is based like directly after that. But we get more of a street level thing, don't we, Chad? It doesn't seem to be, as you put it in your prediction ages and ages ago, it doesn't seem to be this grandiose kind of spectacle. I think it's a lot more grounded, which is encouraging.
Yeah, it's very much more Moon Knight's color.
Yeah,
that's just where he plays,
Yeah, and now the interesting thing about this, and I guess it's logical that Khonshu is incarcerated. What I find interesting that MacKay is going to try and tap into is this idea that Mark is striking out as Moon Knight on his own. I'm not sure the implications of that, because I don't know. How do you take it, Chad? I think it's just Mark dressed up as Moon Knight, but he's got none of that kind of support from Khonshu.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, that's basically where he was countless times before that. There's been a brand new series, and he's just kind of, how do I put it, just become a heretic of Khonshu.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's true. I was just thinking back in the Houston run, but Houston run, earlier stuff like that. The Vengeance of the Moon Knight run. The Bendis run actually had no Khonshu at all from memory, but he's always kind of been there, at least as an annoyance. And we know the Jeff Lemire run as well. It was almost cathartic to get rid of Khonshu, right? So that was something that they've really kind of people have forgotten, I think, because Khonshu's come back. You know how he's come back in the annual and in Serpent War as just a thing. Sorry.
He was more than that in Serpent War.
Oh yeah. But he was like, even in the Avengers, Age of Khonshu, it was no longer ambiguous. But anyway, you're right. I mean, Mark he has trodden this path before, but I think it'll be interesting anyway to see, especially since Khonshu is actively, put away and being guarded and far away. I don't know how far his reach will be, but MacKay does go on to say in this article that he'll be out of the picture for the first arc. So I'm assuming, touch wood, they get past issue 6 or 5, we'll get another arc, but Khonshu will be back by then. Another point, Chad, that may seem like a little one, but I guess if you look at least in the Bemis run, he didn't show up. We get the re-emergence of Mr. Knight. That's
Yeah, I'm not sure where this is supposed to be taking it. That's. Are they going back to just like the strictly street level? Are we just going to have, the apartment complexes all over again? I'm not opposed to that, but it's just like when you don't have the armor, you have to kind of improvise with how you're going to be defensive.
Yeah, it's a bit weird because every time I hear Mr. Knight, I always think of course, the Warren Ellis, Declan Shalvey run, and that kick-ass Moon Knight. MacKay says in this article that Mr. Knight and Moon Knight are kind of two sides of the same coin, in the sense that, what does he say? He says Moon Knight, I'm assuming he's talking about the hooded Moon Knight, is more of the operative, whilst Mr. Knight is more like the front, I guess the front end, the face, and he mentions that the Midnight Mission, people come and see Mr. Knight. So I think he's got he's got a different role for sure. It seems than that of the 2014 run. I mean, he had very much more of a private investigator kind of role in that.
And now that you mention it, the whole scheme of having like a face versus like, a guy on the street, so to say, it feels like they're doing away with the other personalities and replacing them with these roles. I mean, that kind of makes Moon Knight the proper version of the Jake Lockley, and the Mr. Knight the,
Yes.
desk behind, what's his face? Stephen Grant.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say you could argue that to Stephen Grant, because the article actually does beg the question, what about Mark Spector? So it, I originally thought when I was reading this, but yeah, what about Mark Spector, Lockley, and Grant? But yeah, you could associate those identities with Mr. Knight and the Moon Knight as the operative end. It will be interesting. I think we should expect, just to prepare ourselves like loonies, I think just to expect something a little bit different. It may ruffle some feathers, but I think in any case it's great to have this street level groundedness again. So it may not be the Mr. Knight I'm thinking that you may or may not like, because it's already sounding to me it's the Mr. Knight that I'm not expecting. But yeah, but I'll keep an open mind for this. How about you, Chad?
If you're not keeping an open mind in Moon Knight, you're not exactly reading it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Very, no truer words are spoken there. The other big point here, Chad, which I didn't notice he had done in Black Cat and Taskmaster, is this thing that there are going to be no thought captions. So this is another thing. I think it's a pretty cool idea, something that I hadn't really thought of. But MacKay says... let me say, the article says MacKay is tackling the character a bit differently, as there are no thought captions to let you in on what Moon Knight is thinking, conveying things through his actions and his dialogue instead. Now, it seems like a pretty smart move, Chad. I don't know about your thoughts on this, but since... I don't know, I guess it kind of creates more of that enigma, that kind of thing around Moon Knight, if you actually don't know what's going on in his head. But at the same time, since a large component of him is the mental component, that may be a bit of a hindrance. I don't know. What do you reckon?
I absolutely agree with that. I mean, considering that a strong 40% of the Bemis run, I'm not trying to throw that comparison on everything, but just... It's like in the past, a lot of his internal dialogue and monologue have been, how he progresses as a character. When you just do away with that completely, it's kind of questionable. But once again, if you're not keeping an open mind.
So do you think this will be one of the main sticking points that maybe Loonies potentially will... I guess it depends on how it's executed, how it's done. But this could potentially, yeah, exactly. Otherwise, being the optimist, it could be really cool and refreshing having... like I said, have you read Black Cat and Taskmaster and stuff?
I actually just picked up the Black Cat 1 through 5 today. Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed it. I'm going to have to go read some of those issues again. I did not notice there were no thought captions. But having said that, I'm going to be on the lookout now for Moon Knight. We'll see how we go. Also, okay, so a couple of other things here. The big ones. Okay, so Jed MacKay goes on to say as well, since there are no thought captions as well, that means that a lot of, part of the, I guess the expository development of character of Moon Knight will be laid upon the supporting characters. Which I think is pretty cool. Like, when I first read that straight away, it's like, oh, cool, we're finally going to get, like, Frenchie and Crawley and all those, and Jenna, everyone back, and Marlene. But MacKay is introducing some new characters. So what we have here is, we will be seeing in July, Mark, or Moon Knight, has a therapist, a Dr. Andrea Sturman, and the Midnight Mission, which is... that concept of this place where people come and see Mr. Knight if they have some weird troubles. Like, it sounds like actually this is going to be a pretty cool supernatural bent on the character again, Chad, which I'm not averse to.
To be completely honest, it sounds like they're forming like a Moon Knight centric BPRD.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, again, and I think that idea is... I don't know, what do you think of that idea?
Well, I'm a Hellboy fan.
Yeah.
I would be absolutely down for it. And of course, it kind of opens up to the more supernatural side of the Marvel Universe that's just kind of, for the most part, glanced over or very sequestered at the very least. I mean, when was the last time we saw... like actual demons on Earth?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's see, War of Realms. That was almost a year and a half ago.
And of course, our friends over at Inner Demons are still gutted at the Brisson Ghost Rider run, finishing at 7. You know?
Yeah.
How bad is that? I mean, albeit we did get a couple of what were they? King in Black. I read the Vengeance one by Howard Mackie, and there's a Ghost Rider one out now, which is good. But Marvel has really... they've got to tap into that. I think it's a great idea, going back into the supernatural. I mean, Chad, you and I and a lot of loonies in the community have had conversations of, it'll be, what to do next. It'll be great to have him tap into the supernatural. Even talking about the TV show, it'll be great if there's a supernatural kind of angle to it. So this is encouraging. What do you think of... I mean, there's not much of it, but... the therapist. So he has a therapist, Dr. Andrea Sturman, and the receptionist to Midnight Mission is Reese the Vampire. This is a new character, obviously. What were your thoughts?
Of course, it kind of goes back to the whole Dracula, give me my money, you big fucking nerd.
Yeah.
But it's just like... I'm wondering where it's going to go, because how do you just come into contact with random vampire receptionists?
Yeah.
Like, how is this his whole shtick? Why would you trust a receptionist that's a vampire?
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, my initial response was, and I think one other loony kind of coined it as well. It's like, oh, this is sounding pretty kind of cheesy and campy. But I was thinking, hang on. We are in the Marvel Universe. It's not like just because Moon Knight's doing street level doesn't mean that he will never come across, anything weird. When you have aliens, when you have vampires, when you have people with super soldier serum, a vampire walking around, being employed as a receptionist, I don't think is that big a deal. But I guess it's just the fact that he's associated with... it's bringing in that supernatural element, and it's kind of then already taking away that... if I can describe it like that, his street level kind of realism, if that makes sense. But
I get it.
Yeah, I don't know if that irked you as well, or if it was just the fact that it's this random character.
It's more so that there's just this all of a sudden random character. I feel like if they're going to implement someone like that in Moon Knight, like his primary cast, that would have been someone that he has known before. Yeah. Because he's basically been in a close-knit family his entire career. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Gina, her sons,
Yep.
like Frenchie, Marlene. It's always been the same group of people.
Yep.
And they've had intermediate people, obviously, but I mean, they can draw from that crowd. But
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
introducing Reese. Weird.
True. I mean, there is a fine line as well. I mean, I'm totally with you, Chad, as well. I mean, like, you've got that back history, you've got those resources, why not use them? I guess it would be a fine line to, would people be more up in arms if, say, Ricky or Ray was like a vampire, like and helping Mark? You know, would people be going, "Oh no, what have you done to him?" I don't know. What do you reckon? Or is it safer or better to just introduce a new character?
What is the current canon on those two?
Oh gosh, I keep on going back to the Houston run because I can't think. Oh, there was a mention of them, I think, in the Lemire run. But last I thought Ricky had died or something, and Ray was in the Houston run. He was helping Mark, like he was like repairing the copter. That was the last I thought, but I could be totally wrong. Listeners, if you please pull me up on it. And then there was a mention, you know, when Mark goes to New Egypt, you know, like New York in the Lemire run, he goes into the diner, speaks to Jenna. I think there was a talk there about his sons, but I can't remember. Certainly wasn't anything in the Bemis run, I don't think.
I really don't remember.
Yeah.
And that's kind of upsetting.
Yeah, well, I think, if anything, as you say, I guess it's a choice. I mean, he's just introduced these new characters. We'll see where they go. Hopefully they'll, I don't know, hopefully, maybe they'll stick around if they're really good. I hope they're not just kind of throwaway. And Dr. Andrea Sturman, I have no idea. I mean, again, the question would be, why not use Dr. Emmett? You know, she'd been featured in the last two runs, right? Oh, you don't like Dr. Emmett?
No, I like Dr. Emmett. That was an interesting dynamic, considering that, you know, he was having those hallucinations at the time.
Yeah.
But do you remember the condition that she was left in?
Oh yeah, I do. That would be cool. Or I mean, you know, comics these days as well. See, this is part of I think maybe the problem is that some of the writers, they come in and it's like a clean slate. You know, so I wouldn't put it past me that, you know, say for instance, if Jed MacKay brought Dr. Emmett in, that she was totally fine. You know, we get no explanation of, you know, you were half burnt to a crisp. What's going on? You know, that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's why he didn't use her, because he's honouring continuity. I don't know. But have you heard of? Sorry.
At the same time, I mean, there's been a lot of story progression outside of Moon Knight. She could have been like a medical experiment for the mutants of Krakoa.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah. True.
They're wonder drugs, you know.
That's true. Oh yeah, that's right. The flower things, whatever it is. I haven't been following the X-Men that much, but true. And kind of sticking with that, I guess, thought process, Chad. There was, again, it brought up the last run in this article, the Bemis run, and MacKay acknowledges, you know, pretty big things happened, like Marlene had an affair with Jake Lockley behind Stephen Grant's back, and Dietrich, Mark has a daughter, Dietrich. Apparently this won't be explored. You know, MacKay's admitted that these are great ideas, but they won't be tapping into that thread in this run. He does say, though, that Marlene, we will see the impact the Age of KHONSHU has had on Marlene, so that's good. That gives me a bit of reassurance that we will see some of the classic support cast, Marlene at least. But, yeah, what do you think about this? Do you think Dietrich deserves a bit more exploration, or is it going to be a problem that it's not going to be looked at?
It's kind of hard to say, because at this point, Dietrich is still really young, and unfortunately the only kind of role that kids have in the Marvel Universe is either, like, you know, like Dark Phoenix or just Leverage. That's pretty much it. You got those two options. There's not a lot of in between.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it is a bit harder. We've got very scant details here. But again, I'm just trying to read between the lines. It's good at least that Marlene's here. Look, Dietrich, I think I've mentioned in some previous episode as well, I'd be happy to kind of like just shelve that idea for a bit. It is a good idea, but, it'd be fun to explore other aspects of Mark. But yeah, we'll see Marlene's reaction to the age of Khonshu. I'm hoping we see a lot more than Marlene than a few panels,
Yeah.
And this as well kind of implies to me that she's the only one of the classic support cast that we'll kind of see, which is a shame because I'm assuming we would have heard about, we'll see Frenchie and his role and Samuel's, Netta, all that sort of stuff, but we don't. But anyway, we can always still cross our fingers. We might see Crawley, hopefully, somehow. But yeah.
I miss Crawley.
I miss him too, as well. I mean, was he? I'm just thinking. He wasn't using the Bemis run, was he? No.
No, he wasn't. The last time we've seen him was on Anubis's raft.
That's right. That was a pretty good use of the character, I think. But I want to see him in his classic capacity as well. Like, he was pretty much, I don't know how you describe him in the Lemire run. That was so, that was just weird. the Lemire run. But anyway,
I think to a degree it was. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
To a degree, it was pretty appropriate for Crawley. I mean, basically to be the only one knowing what's going on.
Yeah. He's kind of like the in the classic tales, like the fool or the idiot or the Eurodivvy, as they say in Russia, which was the kind of the one that everyone kind of looked past, but he had profound knowledge of stuff, but he came across as a fool. But yeah, any other points or wishes or hesitations about this coming series, Chad, before we learn any more about it?
Wishes? I want to see the truth.
Oh, the truth again. Yeah.
I love that character concept. And he wasn't just a one-trick pony where it's, he shows the truth in people. It was subjective.
Yep.
And I think that's a really cool feature because it's just like the truth inside of you, which isn't exactly empirical.
Yes. Yeah, I enjoyed him as well. And especially, it surprised me towards the end of that Bemis run, what happened to him. I've got to reread the whole Bemis run again. But yeah, he was good. I like the Sun King as well, but I'm not sure where he'll factor into it. Yeah, but hopefully, look, fingers crossed because of the supernatural theme, my wishes would be maybe Werewolf by Night, maybe Jack Russell in there somewhere. Or even the latest iteration of the Werewolf by Night. I didn't read that one. Had you read it? Or
I have not read it, and I've seen it on the shelves. It's just like, man, I need to do that.
Yeah, I might.
Continually let down.
I might have to. It should be on Marvel Unlimited soon. I'm thinking, so I'll go check it out there. But anyway, Loonies, that is as much of the additional information that we have on Jed MacKay's and Alessandro Cappuccio's. There are also some preview artworks of Cappuccio's work come out as well, been released. He's released stuff on his own Twitter account, but there were 3 really nice images that came associated with this article as well. Just your final thoughts, I guess, Chad, on the artwork. Are you looking forward to it? Are you familiar with his work?
After the announcement, I went and checked him out. That's about as far as my familiarity goes.
Okay.
But what he's had on his Instagram is really nice, and he did like a test image a while back for Moon Knight.
Yep.
And that one was pretty nice, and he had a teaser image that was just a bunch of angular shadows across a figure
Right.
with a beaming smile in the dark. Just okay.
Cool.
Hopefully this is part of therapy.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, I think his art is cool. I mean, I'll be looking forward to the issues as they come out. Look, if I'm to be honest, it's not kind of the style that I typically go for. And you used a good word there, Chad. Angular. It seemed, I don't know. It just, the lines and the edges seem a lot more angular to me. And I don't want to say the word harsher, but it just, there's a particular style to it, and that's Kapuchi's style, and I appreciate that and respect that. It's just, but yeah, it's good. I mean, like it brings across a dark quality. I'm looking forward to how the fight scenes will go out, will be played out, the choreography, seeing Marlene, that sort of thing. And yeah, basically just seeing how the layouts go. But looks pretty decent. But like I said, not something that I generally gravitate towards. But yeah, if you could name an artist that he kind of looks the most similar to, Chad, could you think of one? Or yeah,
it's on the tip of my tongue. I've seen a few like it. That's going to bother me.
Because I have seen a few like it as well. Anyway, what I can do, of course, can create, add links or actually, I'll again put them in the show notes for you to have a look at, Loonies. If you have not already, they're very good. They've been used as people's header photos for their Facebook accounts. So go check them all out.
Hey there, everyone. I'd like to tell you about the YouTube channel I Am Your Target Demographic. If you're a fan of comics, we have plenty that you'll enjoy over there, including a series called Heroes Like Us that explores comic characters of all sorts of different identities. And we even have a series that defines words that are used in nerd culture that you may not know what they mean. So you can check us out by heading to YouTube and searching I Am Your Target Demographic, or look up IAYTD on any social media outlet.
Before we go, Chad, there's just some feedback here. Just a bit of smattering here on various platforms. I just wanted to go through them. Now, Chad, have you got the prompt sheet up in front of you?
I'm looking at the night lines.
Excellent, cool. Would I be able to, would you be so kind as maybe go through the YouTube ones, and I'll go through the others?
I guess. All right, so this one's from Infernum Comics, commented on 200. Congrats, loved the episode.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, you'll be well versed with Chad now. He is the reigning champion.
Yeah, knocked KHONSHU out of the reigning belt title, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. He kind of self-proclaimed 5th or 6th title or something. Yeah.
We have Car Eternal, that's with 2 R's, commented, love the animated intro.
Yeah, thanks, Car Eternal. I wanted to give a good shout out here as well. I replied to this as well. So Car Eternal is referring to Loonies. If you had only listened to the audio version of episode 200, there is a video version both on YouTube, and there's a video on your podcast catcher if your podcast catcher can do such a thing. But yeah, the huge hats off to Chris Kelly, Looney Chris Kelly. He's in the credits as well. He did that absolutely brilliant intro. It's an animated thing with all the music and the moon copter going by and all the comics and stuff. So a big shout out, big thank you to Chris for that. And that's all Chris, and he volunteered and donated that for ITK. So I've been using that for some of the Patreon stuff. For the Patreon videos, so a lot of say the regular releases you wouldn't have seen it, but yeah, for the 200th I thought it'd be really great to get it exposed a bit more. But yeah, fantastic work there from Chris. And the last one there, Chad, incidentally is from Chris as well.
Here we go, Chris, also known as CMK7, beep boop beep. Happy 200 episode. Amazing show, guys. I had a blast watching this. Felt like I was a kid again watching Mooneywood Squares. Ha! Nice. Crescent gets the square with all of my favorite Into the Night personalities. I also would be remiss if I didn't mention the amazing interview with Declan Shalvey. Incredible get and such a great interview with this legend. And Declan coming back to Moon Knight and doing to a one-shot of a hardcover. OMFG, yes please.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I think share my sentiments, of course, as well. I'd love Declan to to do a one. If that is what it takes to draw Declan back, to release this hardcover, get him to do a one shot. Yeah, he said himself he'd do it. Yeah, of course. Then let's see if we can. I don't know if we can shout out loud enough. But thank you, Chris. Chad, is it the Mooneywood Squares? Is that like an American reference to a game or something?
Oh, yeah, there was like a trivia show for a long time called Hollywood Squares.
Ah, okay.
And there was a bunch of celebrities from Hollywood who show up. And, yeah.
Ah, cool. Ah, no. Well, thank you so much, Chris. And again, thank you so much for the videos. They're fantastic. And yeah, I kind of liked it too. I'm glad we kind of got the 9 happening. I had in my mind like Brady Bunch, but yeah, Hollywood Mooneywood Squares, that works too. We've got just a few other ones here. I want to give a big shout out to these loonies. So Evan Taylor is a new listener apparently, and he messaged the Facebook page. He said, "Thank you all for your work on this podcast. Just recently discovered it alongside discovering the Moon Knight series. Great stuff. Now all I need is you all to compile a Moon Knight inspired playlist. That would be dope." That certainly would be, Evan. I was thinking about this, Chad. We should do something. Maybe I don't know. You guys have done before top 5 artists and writers and stuff. Maybe we do like. Have we done that? No, we haven't. Have we done like?
I thought we had done sort of like an experimental playlist a while back.
Yeah,
like long time ago.
Yeah, that it does ring a bell. But maybe we should revisit it and stuff, and maybe we can give our top 5. I don't know. I was thinking we can discuss this offline, Chad. But I was thinking we can do a like maybe a top 5 songs or top 5 songs associated with an arc or something. Just so it's like recurring. I think that'd be pretty cool.
No offense, Noel, but let's not do Deleter.
Well, I mean that
because that seems redundant.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that could be of course, that could be like a given, a default thing, for the Warren Ellis Smallwood run. I mean, Warren Ellis, Shalvey run. Have the Other Void, those 6 tracks, they work nicely. But then, we can springboard off that. I don't know. But great idea, Evan. Very cool indeed. Another one here, Chad. I think this was directed towards this rivalry that you and Phil have. Corey Hardiman sends in a Smallwood, ha 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 ha. I'm glad that's kind of reached a larger audience, Chad, now. It seems Phil's introduced that into the episode 200, and it's taken wings. So thank you, Corey, for that. Brilliant
and
stuff.
Thank you, Philly.
What was it? When we were signing off, just incidentally, Chad, I think we were signing off for the episode 200. We're saying, "Oh, got to go, goodbye," and I was taking my headphones off, and I was, clicking leave, leave the meeting, leave the group. Then I think you just said, last thing I caught was you saying, "F you, Phil," or something. And then it's like, then I clicked, I was going, "Oh shit, did I just leave a bit too early?" I would have loved to have heard what happened afterwards, but yeah, it's good. I like it. Twitter, a shout out to a good friend there, Claire Payne. Congratulations. Thank you, Claire. Thank you for those well wishes for episode 200. And yeah, just a couple of other, just again, more so just shouting out than than patting ourselves on the back here. But Instagram, want to shout out Destructo Disc Designs as well. The great peeps over there who supply those pins. They send in a congrats on the 200. Thank you so much, guys. Your donation's fantastic. My God, if there's any way I can repay you somehow. It's fantastic. Also, as well, from Rafael Santos, he congratulated on the 200th, and he said he was honoured to be part of the game and being in the same episode as Shelby himself. I'm glad you got a kick out of that, Rafael, and looking forward to sharing around your artwork coming, starting this week and onwards. It should be, what a great undertaking, Chad, these costumes. He actually showed me some of the previews. I should also mention that he did one specifically for the ITK logo, which is pretty cool. He shared that with me, so I can't wait to share that with everyone. But yeah, no, it should be good. So thank you one and all for all that. Now, Spectre Call, I just want to do a little bit of a thing. I don't know, Chad, if this is going to lose wind very quickly, but off that Declan Shalvey interview, said, it'd be great to have a hardcover of the Ellis Shalvey run, and he can tag the Art of Declan Shalvey stuff at the back of it. He could do a one-shot, all that sort of stuff. I said, yeah, hell yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So I've posted up stuff. I've been sending stuff to Marvel, saying that, the Moon Knight fans would love this sort of thing. So if you do something similar, just tweet CB Sobolski or Marvel on Twitter, hashtag Ellis Shalvey MKHC. Maybe we can start something, maybe get them thinking at least on making a hardcover. I don't know, Chad, how unrealistic is this? Very or extremely?
I mean, the fact that we have continual runs of Moon Knight after everyone's proclaimed him to be a dead property is hilarious. So you can't put the guy down.
They can't. Yeah. I don't know. It might be hard. Logistic-wise, Declan did say, there's a lot more to it to actually get a hardcover out there, but we can only try. Anyway. So I just wanted to shout out that. Chad, a big thank you for coming on for this idle chat. It's been great to debrief on episode 200 as well as go through the information on the upcoming series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was great to come on.
We still got to do that. Let's get sheet faced.
Yes,
and I know the video works now. I can actually upload a video as a podcast episode, so we've got to do it now. But anyway, listeners, before that, next phase, so later on in the week, Chad will be returning in a different capacity, as I said before. Look, the moon phase could be totally shot. It probably is. It's meant to be a waning gibbous for this segment, which is a moon walk, but we had planned this a bit before, so I wanted to just disregard the phase of the moon here. So later on in the week, we're doing a moon walk, which is a reproduction in audio format of a Moon Knight comic. So Chad and I will be looking at Fist of Khonshu issue 3. Now, Chad, you've done your lines. I've got to finish off mine. This should be fun. I haven't read issue 3 yet. Did it bring back a lot of good memories?
Yeah, that's a great issue.
Awesome. Morpheus, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite, power sets in, the mythos. I mean, Ebon Energy, come on.
I know. I love it as well. I so want Ethan Hawke to be Morpheus. I don't know if that's a stretch, but I reckon...
I mean, think about it. That's a lot of, body horror and scary attributes. I mean...
True. I mean, but when you're saying that now, I'm thinking Disney Plus. Maybe, we won't get that sort of. But anyway, it'll still be good. Anyway, a huge thank you, Chad, for coming on, and listeners, I guess we'll catch you towards the end of the week. Have a good one. Loonies, you can contact us through various social platforms. You can drop us a line on email at itkmoonknight@gmail.com. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/itkmoonknight, and a Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/itkmoonknight. We are on Twitter. Our handle is at itkmoonknight, and we're on Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube. Just search for Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. We're also on Discord. Just search for the server Into the Night with a K.
Please leave an iTunes rating or review if you can. It helps us reach other loonies out there too. Also, if you have any feedback, we also look to improve ourselves and the show. Finally, we're on all good podcast catchers: Apple Podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also on Podcoin. Please check us out and share episodes with your friends.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.